Good morning, everybody. It's really rainy outside, but it's the perfect day to do some crafting inside. Anyways, I'm just gonna get my my computer set up so I can see comments, and then we'll start in a minute or two, okay? All right. Okay, so if you're joining me, please say hi. Tell me you're here so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. All right, so let's go. So good morning. My name's Karen Kong. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm trying to get in the habit of sharing stamping with you guys. Hi, Laura. So this is what I've been calling my this or that Thursday. So the day or two before Thursday, I try, hi Shannon, to post 2 cards, and I have people vote on them, and I will make one of them for you guys on Thursdays. So so today's is based on the Crane of Fortune. Good morning, Sandra. Yeah, so I think we're ready to start. I don't think I have anything else today. So yeah, so if you're in my Facebook group, make sure you you vote on Wednesday or late Wednesday night, like last night. Sorry. And then I'll make the card. So thankfully, it was a hands down. It was card B with the Crane of Fortune. So that's what I'm going to do today. It's a Z fold card. So it was new for me, and I think it'll probably be new for most of you. But it's pretty easy to make. It's not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to switch my camera over. Close your eyes because there's going to be some shaking and stuff going on. All right. Sorry. I noticed last week I rewatched my video and I realized that I was shaking the desk when I was stamping and stuff. So I'll try not to do that this week because I don't want to make you guys sick. But it also makes it hard to see. I think that's too zoomed in. Come a little bit. All right, so here we go. All right, let's start. So it's a Z fold card. Let me just show you the card. It looks like this. All right, so when it's closed, it covers up the inside. And when you open it, you can see the sentiment. I thought it was pretty cool. And it's actually not very hard to make. All right, so let me get started. So I'm going to use the same base. I kind of toyed with the idea of changing to the soft succulent for the background, for the card base, but I think I'll just stick with what I have today. All right. So the first thing I need to do is I need to create my card base, which is the Smoky Slate. And don't worry, I'm going to post all the measurements in the description of the video when I'm done, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. And if you want to try and recreate this card. Okay. So the measurement for this one is 8.5 by 6 3/4. And get my paper trimmer. Okay, here's my paper trimmer. So this is 8.5. I have to trim it down to 6 3/4. So I need to extend this. Oops. There we go. So 6 3/4. Okay, I'm going to use, this is the cutting blade. Okay, and then I need to score it in 2 spots for the Z fold. So it's score at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. So 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 4 1/4. Yes, I love having the scoring and the cutting all on the same trimmer. I hear you, Laura. Okay, so that's 2 scores, and then I have to cut off 1 1/4 inch off of this side. Sorry, I'm just reading my my little instructions here. 1 1/4. Okay, last night I accidentally cut off too much, so I'm trying to be sure that I have the right one. All right, 1 1/4. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to I'm going to fold them and burnish the folds. I use my Stampin' Up! Bone folder. It just gives, like, it just helps. There's nothing wrong with just folding it, but with your hands, but it just makes it really crisp. Actually, I can't remember if this is the way. Anyways, we'll see. All right, and then for this, it's going to fold like this. Okay, Sandra, well, I'm sure I'll catch you later. Go ahead. All right, so there we go. So my inside panel, okay, so that's the fold for that. And then this goes like, I can't remember now. Is it this way? Yes, it's this way. Okay, so that's the proper fold. All right, so the inside panel here is 4 by 5 1/4, and I chose to use this side. So this is all part of the Symbols of Fortune, I think Symbols of Fortune DSP, and like every single one of them has like beautiful gold foil on them, and I kind of hate to cover it up, but this is the side that looks better, so I had to go with it. Okay, so this is, what did I say? 4 and 5 1/4. So I want it to be this way up so my birds are flying correctly. So I need 4 inches this way. Whoops. Get the scoring blade. 4 by 5 1/4. There we go. Okay, and then for the other 2 panels, I need 2 pieces that are 1 7/8 and 5 1/4 inches. So for that, I am using this paper. I need 2 pieces, 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So I want 5 1/4 this way, and 2 1 by 7/8 inches. So I'm gonna cut it this way first. 1 7/8. And then another one, 1 7/8. And then I need both of them to be 5 1/4. 5 1/4. So I'm just going to tape those down because I don't want to lose them, because you know how it goes with loose pieces of paper. You put them down, do something else, and then they've disappeared. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them down first. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, although I really kind of like the new tear and tape that I've discovered. That's really nice for certain applications, or as a replacement for this. Okay, did I put some here? No. Oops. Okay. All right, so this goes on the inside. I know. There we go. And then these two pieces will go here and here. You know, I really hated covering up all the gold stuff, but as much as I wanted to keep the gold on the outside, it just didn't look right, so I had to go with the other side, which is pretty. But again, I just feel like guilt for covering up the gold. Oh, sorry, I'm just catching up to all the comments. Yes, the bone folder has been out of stock, eh? That sucks. Okay, this is the words. But I do like it. I like the bone folder, especially when I have to use the other side of a paper. I don't know if you notice, but I definitely notice there's like a little raised edge from cutting. It's very, very slight, but yeah, I like to use the edge of the bone folder, just press it down and get rid of that little edge if I want to use the other side instead. Okay, so that's 2 panels. All right, so what should I do next? Okay, so let's take a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out these panels next. I have one just left over from yesterday, so I just need to cut these 2 little pieces next. Those are, I need 2 1 inch by 1 7/8 inch. So I have a 1 inch strip here, so I just need to cut it down to 1 7/8. 1 7/8. Okay. All right, again, so this one is going to attach like this. So this is the front side of my card. See, it's really not that complicated. So I'm just going to glue these pieces on. This side is really nice too. I chose it because it was a little more abstract than the other gold pattern papers, because it was just too distracting having some of the other patterns. This one worked the best, I think. And one more piece. So the Z-fold is pretty common. I think lots of people use it for different card designs. So I think the part that was hardest actually was picking out which of the DSP worked well together. All right, so those are the easy parts. All right, so now I'm going to cut out my circles. So if you notice, there are 2 circles here. So I'm going to cut out a white, 2 whites, and then the soft succulent with a layering circle die. So let me bring over my cut and emboss machine. And I need my plates. Okay, and then I need my circles and some paper. Okay. I'm just going to trim some white so that I have some to work with. I don't have any scrap that's big enough, so I'm going to have to trim some white first. Yeah, so when I was choosing my layouts yesterday, I had chosen another design that I haven't shown you, and it took way longer to assemble. I had trouble choosing the colors and then arranging it, and I just thought, wow, it's going to take me way too long to do on live. And I had to come up with something else, and then I found this Z-fold card, and I thought it worked really well. Okay, so I have my white. Whoops, it's going to go on bottom. And I have to cut some, let's see, some soft succulent. Sorry guys, I don't know if you can hear me very well. I'm faced away. Plan that very well. I should have done the cutting in front of you guys first. Alright, I'm done. Okay, so now I've got my 2 pieces of paper that I can cut. So this one is a scalloped edge die, and this one is just a plain round edge. Okay, alright. So I'll put that through the cut and emboss machine. Okay, that's one set. Okay, next one. All right. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Those are my 2 sets. Alright. Okay, so let me just go back to this card. So for the background for this card, I stamped the ground image from the Queen of Good Fortune. And I felt it was too white, so I broke out my blending brushes, which I hadn't used up until now, and I really like how it just kind of puts a glow there so that it's just not so white. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to do the blending first. So take my white, and this is Calypso Coral. So if you've never used a blending brush, it's not like the sponge. Like I have these little finger dabbers, and I thought that they were the same spongy material. This is just a little sponge at the end, but this is actually bristles. They're like long, soft bristles. They're really cool. So I'm just going to take some. I'm going to rub it into the stamp pad. I'm just going to have to dab off here just in case I get too dark, and then I'll start lightly. And I'll just rub it very lightly on to get a glow in the background. I don't need much. I think that's probably good. Now I will stamp on the ground. Let's see, does this one fit? Just big enough. Okay, I'm going to stamp that in Soft Succulent. Just going to make sure that everything's covered. Good. And about here. All right. Okay. I'm going to do the crane next. I'm going to use the Stamparatus. I really like using it now because it allows me to restamp if I accidentally didn't get the whole image. Oh, and I have a trick for you guys. So I don't know if you guys noticed how hard it was to pick up the pieces of the magnet, but I saw somebody else do this in a video I was watching, and what they did was they put tape around it. I used washi tape, and I just wrapped it in washi tape and left a tag at the end so that I can just pull it up off of the board. So I did that for, well, I have 2 broken pieces. Whoops. Yeah. So it makes it really easy to pick up now. I like that. Okay, so back to, I need a piece of paper for my crane. Okay. Sorry. I need to cut a piece of paper for my crane first. I need some white. I'm just going to guesstimate how much I need. About this much. And this much. Okay. Okay, here comes the Stamparatus again. Oh, I think it's this way. So I put some grid paper behind it because I want to do some stamping off of the image later, but okay. So this is where I want it to go. I'm just going to position it, and then I'll swing my plate down to cover it. Oops, I don't need this one right now. Okay, so that's where it's going to go, and I'm doing that one in the Smoky Slate. Okay, so yesterday when I was stamping, I actually noticed that I was getting lots of dots on my paper. I don't know how to explain it. When I stamped my image, here we go. This is the one I stamped yesterday. So I was getting like kind of not a clean line here. It wasn't a clean line. It's kind of, if you can see that, you can see like dots instead of a straight line there. So what was happening is I know that if the ink pad is really juicy, it will put almost too much ink on the image. So what I do, the trick I learned was to take, some people use their bone folder, but I don't want to use my bone folder. So I have like an expired card, just a credit card that I don't use anymore. I'm going to take it, I'm going to brush it, the ink, to the side so I don't get so much ink on my image when I stamp. Okay, so just do it a couple of times. You see, like there's excess ink there. I pushed it all to one side. Okay, so now that it's pushed to one side, I can ink up my image, and it will give me a better stamp image. Okay, let's see how that goes. Oh, I still got some. That's okay. I'm going to do it a second time, and hopefully that'll even out a little bit. Okay. Not bad, but I can still see this. So I'm going to turn it over and see if I can get a better image again. And I'm going to try pushing the ink to one side again. Let me just double check this is the right spot. Yes, okay. Okay, so I'm going to clean off my Alright, so let's just clean this off. The edges have a lot more ink on it. So I think I'm going to have to pat a little bit lighter, and I'm going to push off the ink to one side again. Okay, let's try that again. Just like this side. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to pat again. This time I'm going to go a little lighter on the patting. Because I don't think I pushed down very hard at all, but this time I'm just very lightly tapping. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, I think that's better. See, now it's more shading and there's not as much of the lines. I think I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. That's much better. I like that better. All right, I'm happy with that. Clean this off so I don't ink myself. Okay. Okay. Take this off. Back. All right. What else do I need to cut? I don't think that's it. Oh, I want to do one more. One more with the stamp apparatus. I'm going to stamp on the sentiment. Okay. So I'm using Sending 1,000 Wishes, well wishes on your special day. Put the magnets down. See how easy that is to pick up? Okay, so this is the way I want it to go. Good. Alright, this is going to be the Calypso Coral. have to say, it's so much easier not having to look for a specific block when you're using a stamp apparatus. It's whatever size. You just stick it on. That looks really good already. I think I'm gonna make it just slightly darker. Ink it up one more time. That looks good. Okay, I also want to add the leaves and the dragonflies, so I'll just clean this off and I'll remove that sentiment. So I have dragonflies. I want to go here. See, now I'm going to be stamping off, so that's why I have the paper behind. And I'll move this so I can put on my greenery. This time I think I'll put it down here so it doesn't cover up my sentiment too much. Alright. Perfect. Alright. So the dragonflies I'm going to do in a gray. I wasn't sure what color the dragonflies should be, but I think they work okay in gray. And then I'll use soft succulent for the greenery. So again, I'm going to tap lightly. And where did the green go? Here's the green. Alright, they're good. Perfect. I like that. Okay. So it's kind of handy being able to do two of them at the same time. And you position them exactly where you want them, and then you stamp them. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside, and now I'm going to cut the crane out. So back to the cut and emboss machine. I'm going to put my crane in. Get my crane die. Whoops. Let's just line this up properly so I get the right die cut. Okay, and then my top plate goes on top. And run it through. Let's see how it turned out. Pretty good. I love his legs. Okay, let's put this aside. All right. So now let's assemble these. I need this, and there's this. Okay, so this one I'm just going to stick it right in the middle. And this is all personal preference. The video I was watching to make this card, the lady just used lots of glue, and that's fine too. And I find glue gives you a tiny bit more room to play when you place it down and it's not quite in the right spot. You can still wiggle it around a bit. Okay, now comes the part where I definitely need glue for this one. I have to put on the crane. So my crane is partially off the paper, and so I can only put, whoops, I can only put glue up until about here. So let's give that a whirl. Okay, so to about here. Okay. Oh, I was just wondering if that between the legs, if it was supposed to be cut out. I don't remember now. No, it's fine. Too late now. Okay, let me just see. Yeah, I think that's probably enough glue. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right, so now we assemble the whole card. I think I'm going to put the sentiment on first. Oh no, you know what? I'm going to put the Z fold part on first, so then I know where to position that. So this attaches like this. So you cut it from the original card base and you just turn it around so that the short side here and the longer side's in the front. Okay, so you only put adhesive on the back of this part, which I'm going to start with first. Sorry, I'm off the screen, aren't I? Here we go. We're just going to put it on the short side on this side. Okay, and it lines up right on the edge. Okay, and then on this side, you only want to put it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it right where it's going to sit instead of on the strip. Whoops. Okay. So right here. And then I'll just stick it on. Go. All right, so now you've got your Z fold card. So now I'm going to line up my sentiments piece with my crane piece so that they're covering each other when the card is shut. So I'm going to put this one in first. I think I'll just use glue for this. There we go. And I like using tweezers. Where's my tweezers going to? So I can hold it over and see where it's going to go without getting my fingers in the way. It's this, middle, straight. Good. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing for this one, except I have to make sure only to put glue on half of it, not the whole thing. Okay, so I need to put it on this half only. Okay, let's try that again. So I want to match up my little scalloped edge so that when they're sitting together, they completely cover up. I think that's pretty good. Press that down. And all that's left is the embellishments. So now I'm just going to grab my polished dots. So the polished dots have just a touch of, I don't know if it's pink, I think it's supposed to be pink, but the coordinating color for this particular set is Calypso Coral, but they look really good together. All right. Here we go. So this is my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use the putty edge to pick up the dot. Makes it way easier than trying to grasp it with my fingertips. One here. And then another one. Right here. And maybe one last one. And also, I kind of toyed with it, but I don't know if I put it here. It just didn't look right. I'm going to put it here. And that's the card. So it really wasn't too hard to make. It's actually quite easy, and it looks amazing. I think it looks amazing. I think the only question I have is, where am I supposed to write anything? I suppose I would just write it on the back, or yeah, I'm not sure. That's my one question is, you know, where do you write the you know, to whoever, and any sort of special words. So if you have any ideas, let me know. So that's today's card. Thank you everybody for joining in, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.